Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 7, The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 141, 816, Joy After the Calamity. 141st of Volume 7. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. UTN, you dare personally strike down my Taoist heir. By setting such a precedent, you've shattered all order in the world. You must pay the price. Today, I will drag you, the so-called number 1 Heavenly Emperor, from your divine pedestal, grant you a crushing defeat, and shatter your invincible Tao heart, the foundation of your ambition to become the martial mystic Tao Heavenly Emperor. Yu Yaozi's eyes blazed with icy light. Within her ancestral field, two Nirvana heavenly cores began to rotate, projecting ethereal shadows of a netherworld and a Buddha that enveloped the surrounding space, filling the air with Buddhist's voice and Ming's whispers. With a sweeping slash, her sword chi surged forth like a winding heavenly river, hurtling toward the demon cloud. Fight! Yu Yaozi activated the Jade Void breathing technique, her crimson lips uttering the command. Within her spiritual consciousness, the primordial glyph that formed the 6-jaw secret incantations on the yellow dragon sword materialized. The 6-jaw secret incantations on the yellow dragon sword remained invisible to outsiders. The 9 ancient characters had been written by Yuer when Li Wei taught her calligraphy in her childhood, bearing no hidden meaning. Yu Yaozi possessed extraordinary comprehension. Not only had she mastered the Jade Void breathing technique in the 12 dispersed hands of the Chan sect, but she had also deciphered some of the hidden meanings within the 9 ancient characters, integrating them seamlessly with her own martial mystic path and psychic power cultivation. This feat remained unmatched by anyone else. Lingxiao Palace also possessed secret arts for psychic martial mystic fusion, but their execution was far more complex than the 6-jaw secret's incantation, and the fusion couldn't be sustained. In actual combat, their enhancement to combat power paled in comparison. Wisps of spiritual light radiated from Yu Yaozi's brow, coalescing into a graceful, crystalline armor that enveloped her body. Behind her, wings spanning 100 zhong unfurled, merging her heavenly emperor-level psychic power with her martial mystic Tao strength. Today, the 3rd-ranked heavenly emperor faced the 1st-ranked heavenly emperor. In the opposite direction, spiritual light erupted from the heavenly demon empress like the rising morning sun, unleashing 10,000 talismanic runes and scriptures that rained down like rain. How could one who had ascended to the pinnacle of the heavenly emperor ranks possess any weaknesses? Blood mud space. Li Wei was emaciated, reduced to skin and bones, his body weak and drained, having lost nearly half his blood. The terrifying image of the demon claw lingered in his mind, impossible to shake off. It was too dreadful, unlike any earthly power, capable of searing itself into one's consciousness and soul spirit. Xuanhuan rushed forward, her voice filled with concern. Are you injured? What's the situation outside? Li Wei immediately sat cross-legged and began circulating his spiritual qi. Not exactly injured, but extremely weakened. We've been caught in the drowning soul torrent. For now, we should be safe. But it's hard to say for sure. Li Wei couldn't be certain. Now that the 9 Emperors' banner and Buddha's relic had fallen into the hands of a powerhouse at the level of the heavenly demon empress, he wondered if she possessed the means to detect their microscopic concealment. Li Wei was completely unable to fathom the heavenly emperor's cultivation realm. Li Ling, grill me some transcendent flesh. I need to replenish my strength. Li Wei glanced upward, resolving to flee to Tangusi immediately if the situation turned dire. After 4 hours, Li Wei finally managed to obliterate the phantom demon claw from his mind using the Fusong divine tree spiritual light. He exhaled deeply, relieved. Had he failed to refine it, he would have lost all courage to face the heavenly demon empress in the future, suffering a soul spirit will injury akin to Anshanjing's after her soul was searched. Li Wei quietly sensed his surroundings. The moment his intent reached out, it froze. Clearly, the Buddha's relic was still trapped within the drowning soul torrent. Even the heavenly demon empress, with her immense cultivation, couldn't outpace the drowning soul torrent. Li Wei's spirits lifted. The fact that neither the 9 Emperors' banner nor the Buddha's relic had been retrieved for so long meant they had undoubtedly escaped. Now, all he needed to do was wait for Zhenhai Guanwu to locate him through their sensory perception. The rich aroma of roasted meat wafted through the air. Li Wei immediately rose, first approaching the Emperor medicine herb, red dust entanglement. He plucked a petal, ate it, and then headed toward Li Ling and Xuanhuan. The 4 extremes Ape King's transcendent flesh had been roasted over spiritual light flames in an ancient cauldron, wrapped in phoenix blood tree leaves, and seasoned with over a dozen rare spices. The meat was golden brown, its fragrance intoxicating. Li Wei settled onto a stone bench and accepted a several catties slab of roasted meat from Xuanhuan, devouring it with gusto. Meanwhile, Li Ling offered him a cup of fine wine brewed from millennial essence medicine herb. Li Ling, you're being so considerate today. Li Wei exclaimed, surprised by the exceptional treatment. It felt almost surreal. Li Ling, fully aware of his recent trials, couldn't help but feel deeply distressed at his gaunt, skeletal appearance. The sight was no less painful than when she had witnessed her fourth uncle's legs being severed. Without realizing it, she had come to regard Li Weiyi as family, his importance no less than Kang Li and Li Songgu. Zhuoqiu Hongting's soul spirit was weak, her condition exhausted. Brother Weiyi, how did you end up at Zhu Empress's palace with the demon consort? When I was trapped in the primordial lamp, my only hope was that the Zhuoqiu clan's ancestor or my master would come. Li Ling's eyes glistened with tears, but before she could speak, Li Weiyi silenced her with a glare. He chuckled. Let me tell you something interesting. The golden holy bone chapter we found in the great ancient land of the Tao of alchemy turned out to be a heavenly emperor's destined opportunity. It was this cultivation law that convinced the demon consort to help rescue you. You were the one who discovered the great ancient land of the Tao of alchemy. If not for your suggestion, we wouldn't have gone there during the immortal ascension competition. The karmic cycle is truly wondrous, you essentially saved yourself. Zhuoqiu Hongting's beautiful eyes widened in surprise, and she smiled in disbelief. Yet she sensed the matter was too simple, noticing the fleeting exchange of glances between Li Weiyi and Li Ling. You can still laugh. Li Ling scoffed. It's strange, really. After Hongting disappeared, I was frantic, convinced you had met with disaster. But now, the darkness in my heart has vanished completely. Life feels so wonderful, and I'm filled with anticipation for the future. Li Weiyi spoke truthfully. The feeling of being out of control, of facing the unknown, had vanished, replaced by his usual optimistic outlook. I feel the joy of surviving a calamity, and even more delighted that you, Brother Weiyi, risked everything to rescue me, Zhuoqiu Hongting said with a radiant smile. I'll repay this debt, and I'll remember your kindness for a long, long time. Li Weiyi cautioned, your soul spirit needs time to recover. Try not to get too emotionally agitated. By the way, where did 5th Phoenix and 6th Phoenix come from? 5th Phoenix and 6th Phoenix swooped down, nuzzling against Li Weiyi in joyous greeting. They were hiding in the primordial lamp's shattered inner world. Zhuoqiu Hongting explained. This disaster turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The primordial lamp refined the soul mist Empress Zhu had invaded my body with, transforming it into soul liquid. My spirit condensation cultivation in the holy spiritual master realm will now progress smoothly. Zhuoqiu Hongting's expression turned solemn. This ordeal had made her deeply aware of the dangers inherent in the path of cultivation. Her encounter with Xiao Zhu had been a complete accident, not the result of any misjudgment by her or Li Weiyi. Such accidents, even a single one, could prove fatal. After the Immortal Ascension competition, I've decided to return to the Calamity Crossing Temple for secluded cultivation, she murmured. My only goal now is to reach the Holy Spiritual King Psychic Master Realm as soon as possible. Li Weiyi nodded slightly, agreeing with her decision. He had a guardian wife and the ability to withstand unexpected dangers. But if he relied on his guardian wife as his ultimate trump card, his demise would be imminent. After the Immortal Ascension competition, Li Weiyi planned to seclude himself for a period of intensive cultivation. Having finished the transcendent roasted meat, Li Weiyi recovered some of his physical chi and retrieved the sacrificial venerable envoy's corpse and a head-sized crystal from his boundary pouch. Brother Weiyi, how did you manage this? The sacrificial venerable envoy was a holy spiritual king psychic master, a transcendent level being. Did the demon consort kill him? Zhuoqiu Hongting examined the corpse. She found the envoy's physical body severely damaged, as if crushed by a massive hammer or incinerated by heavenly fire, his death a gruesome spectacle. He only had 137 psychic power stars, just the lowest realm of holy spiritual king psychic master, Li Weiyi said dismissively, though his actions betrayed his words. He extracted the vibrant, scalding hot psychic power stars from the envoy's spirit realm, his heart brimming with satisfaction despite his feigned disdain. Even the weakest holy spiritual king psychic master was still a transcendent. With these psychic power stars, he had more than enough resources to advance rapidly through the 6th and 7th realms of holy spiritual master cultivation. The smile quickly faded from Li Weiyi's face, replaced by a complex and unreadable expression. He had believed that by risking his life to carry the life-preserving Spring Jade Scroll and enter the World Chess Game on behalf of the Grand Palace Master, she would surely come to the wolf solitary wilderness to face the crisis alongside him. He had believed that his bond with Yuer held greater weight with the Grand Palace Master than the Holy Hall Life Realm, and that she wouldn't disregard his pleas for the sake of her own ambitions or ideals. But it seemed he had overestimated his own value. The letter she had given him before entering the Void Ruins ancient kingdom, had it also been a means of indirectly protecting him. After a long silence, Li Weiyi chuckled. The sacrificial venerable envoy was killed by the Grand Palace Master's trump card. We owe our escape to her. Hongting, though your father's death was orchestrated by the Shoutian Edict, the Grand Palace Master was also a victim in this. Zhuoqiu Hongting, understanding Li Weiyi's point, nodded silently. We owe her a great debt. As for revenge, we'll settle that with Yu Daojun, the second palace master, and the Lingxiao twin rice sect in the future. What do you think, brother Yi? Am I being fair in distinguishing between gratitude and grievances? Zuoqiu Hongting, you truly are a remarkable woman of profound insight. What is this thing? The spiritual chi fluctuations are incredibly strong, almost like a spiritual crystal. Li Yi lifted the human head-sized crystal, which was surprisingly heavy, weighing over 1,000 catties, and radiated an intense, brilliant light. It's a mid-grade spiritual crystal, quite rare. A piece this large is equivalent to several thousand low-grade spiritual crystals. Low-grade spiritual crystals are currency, while mid-grade spiritual crystals are treasures. Zuoqiu Hongting reached out and touched the crystal. The sacrificial venerable envoy refined this mid-grade spiritual crystal into an formation spiritual stone to control a holy formation within Zhu Empress's palace. Sense it carefully, you'll find a faint consciousness within the crystal, that's the formation spirit. Li Yi released his psychic power to sense the crystal and indeed detected a faint consciousness. It was very weak, not yet possessing spiritual intelligence. Excellent. With this formation spiritual stone, the power of my great wind, fire, thunder, and lightning formation will advance even further. Only holy formations utilize formation spiritual stones to compensate for the limitations of formation masters in controlling the formation. When a formation gains spiritual intelligence, it can manipulate subtle energies, activate all formation inscriptions, and operate flawlessly. Moreover, even without the formation master's deliberate control, it can autonomously operate and counterattack. Li Yi opened the spatial treasure ring on the sacrificial venerable envoy's finger and burst into hearty laughter. The wealth within was beyond imagination, truly transcendent. The treasure trove included mountains of high-grade and top-grade blood crystals, thanks to the envoy's control over southern Yingzhou's premier blood crystal mine. What truly caught Li Wei's eye, however, were the vast quantities of millennial essence medicine herbs and a single emperor medicine herb. This euphoric high from striking such transcendent fortune lasted for 2 days before Li Wei finally calmed down. Using the high-grade and top-grade blood crystals, he constructed a cultivation blood crystal platform on 5-colored mountain. Seated atop it, he began to replenish his severely depleted blood qi and cultivate the golden holy bone chapter, tempering his physical body. In Li Wei's view, the stronger his physical body and the more abundant his blood qi, the less blood he would need to expend when summoning his guardian wife in future emergencies, thus enhancing his survival capabilities. He wouldn't risk draining himself to near death again, as he had this time. Li Wei had initially expected the Zhenhai Guanwu to quickly track the drowning soul torrent and rescue them from the underworld. Instead, they waited for 2 long years. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 7. The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 142, 817, Returning to the Surface. 142nd of Volume 7. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Tengu C. The Fusong Divine Tree stood like a painted scroll at the edge of the sea, its eternal radiance illuminating the horizon. Its branches stretched like long rivers, and its leaves shone like bright moons. Whoosh! Li Wei stood on the sea surface, the myriad manifestation staff spear in one hand and the formation spirit stone in the other. The 4-colored radiant glow emanating from his brow cascaded outward like a waterfall, illuminating the surrounding waters. 4 immortal formation fragments and 4 pages of the Earth Book slowly rose from the depths, one in each cardinal direction. The pages of the Earth Book rapidly expanded to 30 meters long and 18 meters wide, resembling 4 floating clouds. Li Wei conserved his spiritual light by channeling the spiritual qi contained within the immortal formation fragments and the formation spirit stone to activate the formation. 8,000 formation inscriptions ascended from the 4 pages of the Earth Book, swirling around him in a complex pattern. Sizzle. Boom. The 4 forces of wind, fire, thunder, and lightning manifested within the formation art, creating a magnificent spectacle. Dark cyan tornadoes, each several dozen meters wide, spiraled seawater toward the heavens. Flames engulfed the area before Li Wei, boiling the sea surface across several kilometers and coalescing into luminous figures of golden crows, fiery trees, and phoenixes. Lightning bolts hung suspended in the sky, while thunderous roars shook the heavens and earth. Zuoqiu Hongting and Li Ling stood at the bow of the jade boat, more than 10 miles away. One wore azure robes, the other crimson silk, one exuding refined elegance, the other vibrant charm. Before them, the great wind, fire, thunder, and lightning formation surged with overwhelming power, enveloping a vast stretch of ocean and radiating awe-inspiring might. Li Ling remarked, the 5th tier of the great wind, fire, thunder, and lightning formation has been fully refined. With this formation, I doubt anyone in the Lingxiao life realm can surpass him. He's become truly transcendent. It's hard to say, Zuoqiu Hongting replied, waving her folding fan, her bright eyes and pearly teeth gleaming. Dao Harmony Realm cultivators are all comprehending laws, making them formidable opponents. There are still some old powerhouses at that level in the Lingxiao life realm. Now there are 8,000 formation inscriptions. Li Ling exclaimed. Once it's refined to the 6th tier, reaching 9,600 formation inscriptions, even the figures on the heavenly ranking will be terrified. Li Wei meticulously sensed the formation spirit stone's assistance to the formation, continuously practicing to familiarize himself with its operation. Only when his spiritual light reserves were nearly depleted and he could no longer sustain the formation did he retract it. Even without absorbing the golden crow flame, azure heaven green thunder, or wind fiend, the formation's inherent power is already formidable. As long as I don't encounter Dao Harmony Realm cultivators, I should be able to handle most situations with ease. The peak 7th Immortal Realm, with its millions of inscriptions, represented terrifyingly profound cultivation, each cultivator having accumulated centuries of practice. Martial mystic cultivators in the Dao Harmony Realm, however, were like bottomless abysses, their depths impossible to fathom. Li Wei's true combat experience consisted only of clashes with Yanxi, an early 7th Immortal Realm cultivator, and Ancestor Lingyi, a 7th Realm Holy Spiritual Master. Against Xina a Dao Harmony Realm cultivator, he had only managed to withstand a single strike. Xina though in the Dao Harmony Realm, wasn't considered particularly strong. He had only elevated his combat prowess through several years of cultivating with the Immortal Star. Yet Li Wei was no longer the same person. If he were to face a powerhouse of Xina caliber again, he would no longer need to exhaust all his strength just to parry a single blow. During his 2 years in the blood mud space, Li Wei spent several months within the cocoon of time, accumulating years of cultivation in total. He was now in a state of recuperation, wary of the time backlash. Occasionally, he would retreat into the cocoon for a month of secluded cultivation. His greatest achievement was mastering the 2nd tier of the Golden Holy Bone chapter, imprinting over 1 million inscriptions onto his golden bone. With his physical body alone, he could now withstand the full force of martial mystic cultivators in the early 7th Immortal Realm. This rapid progress was thanks to the golden haze pill chi he had extracted from the altar furnace in the great ancient land of the Tao of Alchemy. However, the 3rd tier of the Golden Holy Bone chapter, requiring 10 million inscriptions, remained a distant prospect. It would take decades of dedicated cultivation to achieve. Yet, with each million inscriptions imprinted on his golden bone, his physical body underwent a transformation. 9 such transformations, each enhancing his physique, would culminate in the 3rd tier's completion, granting him a physical body capable of withstanding the Nirvana realm. Another significant gain was his psychic power cultivation, which broke through to the 6th realm of Holy Spiritual Master. This was hardly worth mentioning. 2 years prior, he had already reached the peak of the 5th realm, with 30% of his 6th soul condensed. His breakthrough was merely a matter of time. Brother Wei, I've been calculating the time. We've been trapped in the blood mud space for nearly 2 years. If we don't get out soon, the Immortal Ascension competition might end in another 2 months. What will happen to the life-preserving Spring Jade Scroll then? Zuoqiu Hongting walked across the water's surface with Li Ling, approaching Li Wei with a smile. If the outside world believes you're dead, they might recast the life-preserving Spring Jade Scroll and entrust it to another immortal. That would make it much easier for the Demon Kingdom to seize it. Li Wei was equally puzzled, having considered various possibilities. Could the drowning soul torrent have dragged the 9 Emperors' banner deep into the Earth's core, beyond the Zhenhai Guanwu's detection? Or was the Zhenhai Guanwu deliberately keeping him in the blood mud space for secluded cultivation, to shield him from the dangers of the Immortal Ascension competition and the Demon Kingdom's pursuit? After such prolonged seclusion, Li Wei felt a restless urge to move, his curiosity piqued about the outside world's situation. Had Empress Zhu truly fled to the great wilderness demon plains? What kind of conflict would erupt between the demon consort and the heavenly demon empress? Could Nangong Baikai handle Jiyu Junxiang and Ku Yao? And what about Shi? Now that Xina was dead, where was he now? During this great battle, Li Wei had been cut off from the outside world for nearly 2 years. The three returned to the blood mud space. Li Wei said, let's wait a bit longer. If everything fails, I have another plan. If Zhenhai Guanwu didn't arrive before the Immortal Ascension competition concluded, it would mean she truly couldn't sense him. In that case, they'd have to escape the drowning soul torrent using the guardian wife. They couldn't remain trapped in the blood mud space forever. Moreover, if Zhenhai Guanwu mistakenly believed he had fled to Tanggu Sea and launched a search there, it would create further complications. 2 days later, Li Wei's psychic power detected a change outside. The icy vital energy of the drowning soul torrent had vanished, replaced by swirling, surging waves of water. Li Wei's eyes lit up with joy. He quickly rose to his feet, activating the blood-floating pagoda demon armor and the governor's official robe for protection. You two stay here in the blood mud space. I'll go out and scout ahead. Whoosh. Li Weiyi's figure vanished from five-colored mountain, reappearing moments later amidst the rapidly flowing seawater. The force of the currents was so strong he struggled to maintain his balance. The Buddha's relic transformed into a fisheye and re-embedded itself into the Tao ancestors' Tai Chi fish. Though the seawater was cold, it posed no threat compared to the terrifying drowning soul torrent. Li Weiyi gripped the Nine Emperors banner, channeling spiritual qi into it. Instantly, the inscriptions on the 9 white banner cloths detached and coalesced into a inscriptions road. Splash. Li Weiyi emerged from the water along the scripture road, flying through the chaotic, gale-force winds for dozens of miles before landing on the nearest shore, a massive, sheer cliff of rock. Pitch darkness surrounded him. The thunderous roar of the water was several times louder than standing beside a waterfall, deafening and bone-shaking. Blood-red light emanated from the eyes of the 9 skulls atop the 9 Emperors' banner, faintly illuminating the vast underground space. Before him, the air was a chaotic swirl of chi and mist, the wind sharp as knives. Below lay a vast, swirling expanse of water, its waves towering 30 meters high and stretching at least 100 miles across, possibly several hundred. Li Weiyi's senses couldn't penetrate the vortex's power to reach the opposite shore, his probing attempts were instantly crushed by the swirling force. Most awe-inspiring was the Buddhist Tao imprint suspended in the dim, misty sky above the swirling waters. The Buddhist Tao imprint was pitch black and massive, resembling 4 city walls forged from divine iron. Stretching for an immeasurable distance, its sheer scale was terrifying, like a celestial seal slowly rotating within the mist, emitting a deep, resonant hum. Li Weiyi narrowed his eyes, straining to make out its details. He wanted to understand how it could float in the void. But after only a moment of intense focus, dizziness overwhelmed him, nearly causing him to tumble into the churning waters below. Clearly, the swirling waters owed their motion to the imprint's influence. What exactly is this place? Li Weiyi wondered. He speculated that after the drowning soul torrent had carried the 9 Emperors' banner and Buddha's relic here, the combined forces of the Buddhist Tao imprint and the vortex had shattered the torrent, creating the opportunity for his escape. Or perhaps the Buddha's relic had brought the drowning soul torrent here. In Earth's mythology, the Buddhist Tao imprint was closely associated with the Buddhist sect. Li Weiyi couldn't help but draw this connection. The Buddhist Tao imprint suspended in the mist appeared solid, its nature unclear, whether it was a spiritual artifact or an architectural structure. Li Weiyi dared not fly closer to investigate. Instead, he released a wisp of spiritual qi from his fingertip. The qi traveled over 10 miles before dissipating in midair, unable to approach the Buddhist Tao imprint. Better not act rashly. This thing seems beyond my current cultivation level to touch. Li Weiyi turned, using the crimson glow of the 9 Emperors' banner to illuminate the darkness. The underworld stone walls soared thousands of feet high, resembling colossal celestial steles, their surfaces covered in rows of ancient inscriptions. The inscriptions were too complex and profound to decipher. Could this be a cultivation cave left by some heaven-defying figure? Li Weiyi couldn't be certain if he was still beneath the wolf's solitary wilderness. After all, Yingzhou's subterranean waterways were interconnected, making it unsurprising to find himself hundreds of thousands or even millions of miles away. Let's get out of here first. I don't want to provoke any more forbidden ones. Li Weiyi knew the underworld was fraught with unpredictable dangers, and this place was particularly extraordinary. The mere presence of the suspended Buddhist Tao imprint, which seemed utterly otherworldly, suggested that if it were to fall, it could shatter the heavens and earth. Li Weiyi retrieved Xuanhuan's myriad inscriptions artifact belt, activated it, and the dragon-headed bronze wolf armor enveloped his entire body. Drawing upon the armor's power, he began to claw his way upward through the earth. The rock was incredibly hard, and even with Li Weiyi's current cultivation level, the digging proved exceptionally strenuous. The layers of earth stretched deep, creating the sensation of being trapped in the 18th layer of hell, where sunlight never penetrated and the surface seemed eternally out of reach. Midway through his ascent, Li Weiyi paused to rest and replenish his severely depleted spiritual qi. No wonder I've not encountered Zhenhai Guanwu, he muttered. Even Emperor psychic masters have limited knowledge of the underworld's depths, making it nearly impossible to sense anything down here. After 2 days of relentless digging, Li Weiyi finally broke through the final layer of rock and emerged into another subterranean space. Here, golden mist filled the air, the spiritual qi was dense, and luminous plants grew in abundance. Extending his psychic power outward, he detected vital energy signatures about 100 miles away. A swarm of malevolent demons, emitting terrifying shrieks, was flying toward his position. No way. The spiritual qi here. Li Weiyi's expression turned strange. He tilted his head back, gazing at the rocky ceiling above, then transformed into a streak of light, activating the earth evasion technique to continue his ascent toward the surface. Moments later. Splash. Under the cloak of night, Li Weiyi burst through the water's surface, soaring like a beam of light above the sea before gracefully descending back to the waves. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 7, The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 143, 818, Old Friend from Dragon City. 143rd of Volume 7. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Above them stretched a vast expanse of starry sky. A thin layer of golden rosy mist drifted across the surrounding sea, shimmering brilliantly under the starlight, creating a scene of ethereal beauty like an immortal realm. Boom. Li Yi released Xuanhuan and Li Ling. The massive, dozens of meters long jade boat crashed heavily into the sea, sending waves surging outward like a giant boulder plunging into a calm lake, creating concentric ripples that spread across the water's surface. Finally out. Where are we? After 3 years trapped in the blood-mud space, Li Ling finally emerged to breathe fresh air, her gaze drawn to the breathtaking starry sky above. Li Yi turned to Xuanhuan. I sense the spiritual qi here is remarkably similar to the heaven and earth spiritual qi after the East Sea's immortal Dao dragon meridian veins awakened. Am I mistaken? No, you're not mistaken, Xuanhuan replied, her beautiful eyes filled with astonishment. I also sense a faint immortal spirit essence in the heaven and earth spiritual qi, even stronger than in the East Sea. How is this possible? The East Sea and the Wolf Sovereign Wilderness are separated by tens of thousands of miles. Li Ling interjected, you're both great immortal realm experts and great holy spiritual masters. Why not just capture a sea demon beast and ask it? Li Ling, how can you be so smart? Li Yi chuckled, releasing second phoenix and seventh phoenix to carry out the task. Both phoenixes had already reached the fifth immortal realm. The following day at noon, Li Yi, Xuanhuan, and Li Ling traversed tens of thousands of miles of ocean to reach Dragon Island, the most bustling and prosperous region of the East Sea. Dragon Island, formed from the subterranean rise of the ancient immortal burial ground, stretches over 3,000 miles, indistinguishable from a mainland. Their last visit had been 6 years ago, when Li Yi accompanied Tang Wanzhou to retrieve the holy spiritual pill from Lu Jingshan and assassinate Qin Zhengyang, the noon envoy of the Taiyan sect. In just 6 years, Dragon Island has undergone a complete transformation, Li Yi remarked as they traveled toward Dragon City after landing. The pace of development is astonishing. It might soon surpass Lingxiao City to become the most prosperous city within 100,000 miles. Compared to when the immortal Dao dragon vein first awakened, the spiritual qi has nearly doubled in just a few years, Li Ling added. Its transformation into spiritual qi and immortal qi is imminent. Back then, the immortal Dao dragon vein only influenced a 30,000-mile stretch of the East Sea. Now, it extends northward into the rainforest living realm, expanding steadily. Within a century, the East Sea will likely evolve into Yingzhou's premier cultivation paradise, its foremost sacred lake, and its greatest life realm, surpassing even the immortal dynasties of Central Plains and the Buddhist kingdoms of the West. Precious medicine herbs, essence medicine herbs, and emperor medicine herbs will sprout like bamboo shoots across the surrounding lands. Xuanhuan and Li Ling, both veiled, felt the joy of travelers returning home, seeing beauty and vitality in everything around them. Who could have imagined they would see the light of day again in the East Sea? Li Wei's expression turned solemn. This means this place will become the eye of the storm, a battlefield for competing forces. The Lingxiao Realm and Rainforest Living Realm, located at the northern and southern ends of the East Sea respectively, will reap the benefits of the immortal Dao dragon vein's revival, but they will also inevitably face bloody conflicts and challenges to their survival. Li Yi recalled the Buddhist Dao imprint stone wall he had discovered earlier, sensing that the depths beneath the East Sea held profound mysteries, hinting at the existence of an ancient and powerful civilization. He resolved to return and investigate further once his cultivation reached a higher level. Their journey to Dragon City served both as a convenient detour and an opportunity to assess the current situation, particularly regarding the Immortal Ascension competition. As Li Yi put it, in Dragon City, you could throw a rock and hit several acquaintances. How could we possibly fail to gather information? The construction of Dragon Island and Dragon City relied heavily on resources and cultivator labor, with nearly half of both coming from the Lingxiao realm. Xuanhuan stopped, gazing at the 9 towering peaks piercing the horizon. There, amidst swirling cloud glow, stood the Calamity Crossing Temple's Taoist training ground on Dragon Island, with strange beasts flying in and out. The Dragon Island Taoist Temple is being built by the Xuanhu sect for the Calamity Crossing Temple, she said. Should I go there to gather information? That works. Let's split up and meet at the Dragon City Heavenly Pavilion. After separating, Li Yi and Li Ling entered the city first. They wandered through the bustling streets, sensing and searching for familiar faces. In the end, Li Yi didn't seek out Princess Dengfeng. Instead, he and Li Ling entered the Heavenly Pavilion first, ordered a lavish spread of delicacies, and began to enjoy their meal. During their previous visit, the Heavenly Pavilion's 10 palaces and 10 pavilions had still been under construction. This time, however, half of the private rooms and halls were filled with cultivators from all corners of the world, both human and demon. To afford the heavenly pavilion's prices, these beings possessed extraordinary cultivation levels, with Dao Seed realm experts being commonplace. Li Wei chose a seat on the second floor, offering a panoramic view of the bustling street below and the diners on the first floor. Their table was only 2 tables away from where Shi Wuyan, Shi Luyu, and Shi Zhoujai were seated. He had sensed their qi the moment he entered the pavilion and deliberately selected this spot. Li Ling, maintaining her composure, ate slowly and carefully, listening intently to the snippets of conversation from nearby diners. According to them, she said excitedly, the army of the dead has been repelled from the Holy Hall's life realm. This is truly momentous news. Li Wei wasn't particularly surprised. After all, both the Holy Emperor and the Sentinel Commander were stationed there. If they couldn't swiftly crush the army of the dead, the only alternative would be for the dead spirits to invade the 100 realms of the living, sweeping across the human race's life realms in southern Yingzhou. Clearly, the nether realm of the dead wasn't yet prepared for a decisive battle against the human race. The fact that the Void Ruin Ghost Emperor hadn't shown himself since the start of the war hinted at this. Nearby, Shi Luyu grumbled, complaining about how the East Sea is a tough place to make a living, Dragon City's housing prices are outrageous, and should we just go back to the Lingxiao realm? At the ground floor entrance, Zuoqiu Hongting, veiled, entered with Qi Xiao. After a brief pause to orient themselves, they swiftly ascended the stairs to the second floor. With Zuoqiu Hongting's cultivation level, she projected a psychic field around herself. Even as she passed by Shi Luyu and the others, they couldn't discern her features or form. Qi Xiao, his heart racing with excitement, followed closely behind Zuoqiu Hongting. Reaching the table, he stepped forward, bowed deeply, and exclaimed with a hearty laugh, Qi Xiao of the Southern Territory pays respects to the Southern Dragon. Greetings to the Earth Rankings number 1. Old Qi, you're on Dragon Island. Hurry up and sit down. Let's have a few drinks, it's been ages since we last met. Li Wei patted the chair beside him. Qi Xiao was about to sit when he quickly glanced at Zuoqiu Hongting and tactfully stepped aside. Li Wei looked up. Zuoqiu Hongting stood there, her eyes red and swollen from crying, staring intently at him. Clearly, she had been weeping before arriving, and now her emotions were threatening to overwhelm her again, tears glistening in her eyes. What's wrong? Li Wei asked, quickly rising to his feet and turning to Qi Xiao. What happened? Qi Xiao shot him a look of profound admiration before turning away to stare at the ceiling beams. A fragrant breeze enveloped Li Wei as Zuoqiu Hongting threw her arms around him, burying her face against his chest, her eyes tightly closed, struggling to regain her composure. Li Wei sighed inwardly, realizing Qi Xiao must have embellished the story of what happened 2 years ago. He stood quietly, waiting for her to calm down. Hongting, you're being too sentimental. Li Wei said, standing tall and gently patting her fragrant shoulder. How can we still be brothers if you act like this? He noticed her grip tightening, his chest growing damp. So we're not brothers anymore. Shi Luyu slammed his fist on the table from across the room, shouting, once brothers, always brothers. Now that he has made it big, he can't just abandon us. Zuoqiu Hongting, usually so composed, decisive, and unflappable, rarely showed such feminine vulnerability. After a long moment, she pulled away from Li Wei's embrace, wiping her eyes as she turned to compose herself. Smoothing her hair, she quickly regained her composure and said with a hint of reproach, why didn't you tell me the truth? It's been 2 years. How could you keep such a secret? The underground ocean is so dangerous. So what if it's dangerous? Does danger mean we shouldn't go? I don't want to stay on Dragon Island any longer. The number of experts here is growing, and it's only a matter of time before they start killing each other. It's better to sneak into the Nether Realm and seek refuge with Lao Shi in the Wolf Sovereign Wilderness, Shi Luyu declared. Li Wei said sternly, Hongting, you joined the Immortal Ascension competition for my sake. If something happens to you because of this, how could I ever forgive myself? How long would it take me to overcome this guilt? Zuoqiu Hongting gazed intently at him and whispered, but I've never heard of a Heaven's Chosen, the Earth Rankings number 1, kneeling to the world to beg for help in saving his brother's life, pleading for her life. And the entire world was forced into the fray by his desperate struggle. Empress Zhu died, the Shi King's bandit army was annihilated, and even the Wolf Sovereign Wilderness was leveled. Qi Xiao said countless people now envy your fiancé, Hongting. I'm envious too, damn it, Shi Luyu said. Lao Shi transformed into a prince of the Fangfeng clan, with the Calamity Crossing Temple backing him. Li Wei, Zuoqiu Hongting, Li Ling, and Qi Xiao all turned to look, each with their own emotions flickering across their faces. Qi Xiao laughed heartily. Why don't you two just get married already? I'd love to drink your wedding wine and call you brothers, but no one in the world would believe it. I'll go over first. Young mistress, what should we do with them? Bring them here, Zuoqiu Hongting said coldly. Bang. Shi Luyu slammed his fist on the table, leaping to his feet. Let's go. We're heading to the Wolf Sovereign Wilderness now. Qi Xiao stepped in front of them, blocking their path. Shi Zhuozhi glanced at the direction Qi Xiao had come from and noticed three figures shrouded in a hazy aura, their features completely obscured. A chill ran down his spine as he realized they were facing great powers of the immortal realm. He adopted a polite tone. Young Master Qi, I didn't expect to meet you here. What brings you here? We've already severed ties with the Earthwolf King's army and won't be returning to the Zhuoqiu sect, Shi Luyu declared. Qi Xiao, don't waste your breath. I'm not here to ask you back, Qi Xiao replied coldly. I have some friends who wish to meet you. With that, he turned and strode back to stand near Zhuoqiu Hongting. Li Wei and Zhuoqiu Hongting had already taken their seats. Sensing the extraordinary aura emanating from the three of them, Shi Luyu approached, showing little fear. Ninth brother and I are brothers of the Southern Dragon, bound by life and death loyalty. May I ask your names? Zhuoqiu Hongting. Zhuoqiu Hongting's voice rang out, drawing all three into her psychic field. Coincidentally, I'm also a brother of the Southern Dragon. Shi Luyu's legs buckled uncontrollably, bending forward under the combined pressure of Zhuoqiu Hongting's psychic power as a great holy spiritual master and his own terror. Fortunately, the quick-thinking Shi Zhuozhi caught him before he could fall to his knees. The three Dharma kings of the Earthwolf King's army reacted with varying expressions as they observed the three of them at the table. As a hidden one of the Zhu Li hidden sect, Shi Zhuozhi was overjoyed beyond words, his emotions indescribable. Shi Luyu steadied himself by gripping the table, his gaze fixed on Li Wei's profile. Damn it. So what that person told the Heavenly Demon Empress was true. You might actually be alive. The three exchanged glances before bowing in unison. This was a gesture of genuine reverence, born from the vast difference in their status and power, making their former casual familiarity impossible to maintain. Li Wei set down his wine cup and smiled. Oh. What that person told the Heavenly Demon Empress. Please, sit down. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 7. The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 144 819 Number 1 Heavenly Emperors. 144th of Volume 7. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. At Li Wei's word, Shi Zhuozhi immediately took his seat. Shi Luyu, Shi Wuyan, and Qi Xiao, never ones for ceremony, chuckled and settled around the table. Thanks to the dragon seed and the absorption of six-clawed immortal dragon Qi during the excavation of the ancient immortal dragon remains, Qi Xiao's cultivation had advanced rapidly, reaching the ninth heaven of the Dao seed realm. He had truly become a dominant force in the mortal world, overseeing many secular affairs of the Zhuoqiu sect on Dragon Island. He spoke first. Dragon Island is arguably the most well-informed place in the East Sea, Lingxiao Realm, and Rainforest Living Realm. Rumor has it that the Rice Palace and Calamity Crossing Temple are excavating an underground post road through the Nether Realm of the Dead. In any case, major events in the 100 realms of the living will reach us within 3 months, unlike the isolation we experienced before. Brother Wei, young mistress, much has happened during your 2-year absence. Among the most intense conflicts was the struggle between the Heavenly Demon Empress and the Grand Palace Master. This was arguably the most significant event in southern Yingzhou after the retreat of the army of the dead spirits, and it has profoundly impacted the alliance between the human and demon races. The Grand Palace Master, citing the Heavenly Demon Empress's violation of the rules by personally targeting you, ventured deep into the Great Wilderness Demon Plains. There, she slew 3 demon kings under the Empress's command, including one of her disciples who had reached the Nirvana realm. This action garnered widespread support from the younger generation of the human race. Emperor disciples, true disciples of the ancient sects, and immortal ascension beings alike rallied to her cause, representing various major powers. This was naturally a countermeasure by young cultivators against their elders, leveraging momentum to restrain the old men and carve out greater space for their own advancement. The Grand Palace Master initially vowed to exterminate all the Heavenly Demon Empress's disciples and demon kings. Perhaps cornered, the Empress abandoned her usual arrogance and publicly revealed the truth, that you possessed a life-saving trump card from the Mist Celestial, which had shielded you from her attack. You hadn't perished, merely concealed yourself. The Heavenly Demon Empress, notorious for her disdain for others and refusal to reason, was forced to offer an explanation. This was widely interpreted by cultivators as a sign of weakness, lending considerable credibility to her claim. Through the mediation of the martial mystic Dao Heavenly Emperor from both races, the conflict was finally resolved. With this single act, the Grand Palace Master ascended to the pinnacle of the Heavenly Emperors, her prestige eclipsing even that of the Heavenly Demon Empress. The mention of this matter naturally invigorated everyone present. After all, the Grand Palace Master was a Lingxiao people, and her Dao technique successor sat right before them. Li Wei remained silent. When Yu Yaozi had asked him whether he wanted to conceal his 10th spring divine gate, she had warned that if he chose to reveal his full potential, her sword would first have to slay many. She would need to clearly convey the rules and price to all the major powers of the world. Now that Li Weiyi's 10th spring and cultivation realm could no longer be hidden, was she using the heavenly demon empress to warn other factions? Li Weiyi asked, "What's the situation with Shi? Are you planning to join him?" Under the Earthwolf King's army's 3 Dharma Kings' eager explanations, Li Weiyi finally understood the full context. 2 years ago, Shi had been rescued by Transcendence from the Calamity Crossing Temple. After his identity was revealed, it turned out he was a descendant of the Fangfang Bandit King clan, a lineage tracing back to the ancient immortal giant Fangfang clan. The Wolf Sovereign Wilderness and surrounding lands had once been known as the Fangfang Habitat, a powerful kingdom that ruled over more than 200 prefectures. When the Holy Dynasty launched its campaign against the Wolf Sovereign Wilderness, the Demon Kingdom found itself morally unable to intervene. Unwilling to relinquish the underground blood crystal mine to the Holy Dynasty, yet fearing further encroachment, they forged an alliance with the Calamity Crossing Temple to support the Fangfang Bandits, the former masters of the region, using them to contain the Holy Dynasty's advance. The Fangfang Bandits swiftly transformed into the Fangfang Royal Clan, leveraging their status as victims to seize control of the 13 prefectures of the Wolf Sovereign Wilderness. Re-establishing their royal court, they effectively stalled the Holy Dynasty's strategic objectives. Li Weiyi sighed, going to the Wolf Sovereign Wilderness is putting the cart before the horse. It's far more dangerous there, and Shi likely has no choice in the matter. The East Sea, on the other hand, is where the immortal Dao Dragon Meridian Veins is reviving, promising ever-increasing opportunities. Why not return to the Earthwolf King's army? Would the Xuanhuan sect truly mistreat you? The 3 figures before him harbored no affection for Shi. Shi Luyu had failed his mission and suffered the punishment of the 6 Desires Talisman, after which Shi had thrown him into a wolf den for 2 months. Given Shi's treatment of his adopted son, how could the latter possibly resent Li Weiyi for his death? Thus, the 3 at the table remained silent about Shi's demise. Shi Luyu's eyes darted around, glancing at Xuanhuan before finally sighing. Since Lord Nanlong asks, we must answer. The benefits of the immortal Dao Dragon Veins revival are simply too great. The top powers have all entered the fray, and we grew fearful, wanting to escape. Though the Xuanhuan sect is strong, I fear they will suffer the same fate as the Snow Sword Tang Court, ultimately becoming an outer sect force of the Calamity Crossing Temple, forced to serve as the vanguard in this conflict. The outcome is uncertain. These ancient sects and kingdoms will truly stop at nothing to achieve their goals. Shi Luyu's words were carefully veiled, but his meaning was clear. The Xuanhuan sect was merely a pawn of the Calamity Crossing Temple, cannon fodder on the front lines. Xuanhuan's lips moved slightly, but she didn't immediately retort. As the East Sea's value continued to grow, more and more players would enter the game, and no one could predict what the future held. Li Weiyi asked, what happened to the Snow Sword Tang Court? Shi Luyu was about to answer when Qi Xiao interjected, I ran into Tuoba a few days ago. He's managing the Snow Sword Tang Court's affairs on Dragon Island. Should we call him over? Li Weiyi, Qi Xiao, and Tuoba Buchuo had shared life or death experiences in the underground immortal mansion beneath the Twin Rice sect's main hall, forging a deep bond. Lao Qi, you've already had 3 cups. Why are you only thinking of him now? Send him a message immediately and invite him over tonight. Li Weiyi calculated the time. Tuoba Buchuo's 3-year conscription at Cave Void Camp had long since ended, making his release from the camp perfectly normal. After Qi Xiao left, Li Weiyi pressed Shi Luyu for more details about the Snow Sword Tang Court. Shi Luyu realized Xuanhuan was nearby and that it would be inappropriate for an outsider like himself to speak frankly. He answered vaguely, the Snow Sword Tang Court is backed by the Sword Dao Imperial Court, which also wants to establish a foothold in the East Sea. But their involvement would be far more troublesome than dealing with the Calamity Crossing Temple or the Rice Palace. In the end, it's all because the stakes are too high. Li Weiyi turned to Shi Zhojai. You explain. Shi Zhojai sighed heavily. The Sword Dao Imperial Court lacks legitimacy. Moreover, not only do the Calamity Crossing Temple and the Rice Palace oppose their entry, but the Grand Palace Master would never allow it. How is the Grand Palace Master related to this? Li Weiyi asked. Shi Zhojai couldn't withstand Li Weiyi's gaze. The Grand Palace Master seized the Void Ruins ancient kingdom and formed an alliance with the Rainforest Living Realm. To encircle the East Sea, she must also reclaim the Lingxiao realm. Whether she chooses to monopolize the benefits, negotiate terms with the other life realms, or determine how to distribute the profits, the initiative lies entirely in her hands. Doesn't it? How could I possibly fathom the Grand Palace Master's intentions? Li Weiyi decided to stop pressuring them and instead seek information from Tuoba Buchuo. Moments later, Qi Xiao rushed back, his face pale with urgency. Disaster. The Rice Palace has attacked the Snow Sword Tang Courts. No, the Sword Dao Imperial Court's ships. Li Weiyi's group immediately raced out of the city toward the West Ferry. During the journey, Qi Xiao explained to Li Weiyi that the factions of the Calamity Crossing Temple and the Rice Palace had been constantly suppressing the Sword Dao Imperial Court, determined to prevent them from establishing a foothold on Dragon Island and in the East Sea. As the Sword Dao Imperial Court's primary force, the Snow Sword Tang Court naturally bore the brunt of these attacks. Li Weiyi now fully understood Shi Luyu's earlier words: when top-tier ancient sects and kingdoms clash, the first to suffer are the local powers surrounding the East Sea. The battle had already erupted at Dragon Island's West Ferry. Boom. The Sword Dao Imperial Court's fleet had come under attack, with 3 ships already sunk and vast quantities of supplies lost to the sea. 7 or 8 miles from the ferry, 4 more massive vessels billowed thick smoke, engulfed in flames. Figures aboard the ships desperately fought to contain the blaze. Though the ships flew the Sword Dao Imperial Court's 9-sword flag, their crews were all from the Lingxiao realm, under the command of Snow Sword Tang Court. On the water's surface, over a dozen Dao Seed realm martial mystic cultivators clashed in a chaotic melee. Meanwhile, 5 Seas realm experts wreaked havoc both on the ships and beneath the waves. Li Weiyi quickly spotted Tuoba Buchuo, his body gleaming like forged silver. His cultivation surpassed even Qi Xiao's, having reached the peak of the 9th heaven of the Dao Seed realm and was in the midst of cultivating the immortal body. Single-handedly, Tuoba Buchuo drove back 3 powerful experts from the Rice Palace, forcing them into a steady retreat. Among these Rice Palace warriors, Li Weiyi recognized one, Li Zhouzu, Kanye Shui's elder brother, who wielded a flute. Sadly, Yang Qingxi was nowhere to be seen. The Rice Palace's commanding figure was Chu Tianshu, the former vice hall master of the Heavenly Principles Hall of the Lingxiao Twin Rice sect. Chu Tianshu stood tall on the shore, an aberrant race martial mystic cultivator with a serpentine head, flood dragon claws, a canine tail, and a pair of broad, blazing wings on his back. His eyes locked onto Tuoba Buchuo's rapidly moving form across the sea, a cruel smirk twisting his lips. What a bunch of useless fools. They can't even handle a single traitor. To many members of the Lingxiao Twin Rice sect, Li Weiyi, Tuoba Buchuo, and Qi Xiao were all traitors. Li Weiyi glanced at Li Ling. Hong Ting and I can't intervene directly. You handle this. With his current cultivation level, Li Weiyi could now discern the depths of Chu Tianshu's power, no longer viewing him as an unfathomable force. Chu Tianshu's cultivation had reached the 3rd realm of the immortal realm. No wonder he had only dared target Yao Qingshan back then, while remaining terrified of Anshanjing. Boom. Chu Tianshu opened his palm, releasing 13 streams of spiritual qi that drew in seawater within 100 zhang radius, solidifying it into thousands of ice shards. Enveloped in spiritual qi and inscriptions, the ice shards became as hard as iron and as sharp as spears, hurtling toward Tuoba Buchuo with a piercing whoosh. Bang! Bang! Over 200 golden heavenly sword talismans converged into a radiant river, soaring across the sea surface and shattering every ice shard in its path. Who dares interfere? Chu Tianshu roared, his voice heavy with menace. Li Ling, clad in vibrant crimson robes, strode across the waves, controlling the rain of heavenly sword talismans as she stood at the heart of the golden sword storm. Your Excellency, despite your immortal realm cultivation, you meddle in Dao Seed realm conflicts. This young lady finds such behavior intolerable and intends to teach you a lesson or two. Most of the 200 heavenly sword talismans had been given to her by Li Weiyi. He had forged far too many during their time in the Void Ruins ancient kingdom, and they had since become largely useless. Li Ling had been confined in the blood mud space for 3 years, during which she had scavenged a considerable amount of Li Weiyi's discarded treasures. Among these were the true spiritual pills, essential for psychic master cultivation and exceedingly rare. Li Weiyi had refined a massive stockpile of these pills, and when he no longer needed them, he simply tossed the remainder to her. The Nether Soul Divine Essence, which aided soul condensation, was also available in abundance. A casual search through the blood mud space would reveal numerous cosmic pouches Li Weiyi had discarded in corners, seized from powerful enemies, or piles of cultivation resources he no longer used. Even if she recklessly squandered the resources stored in the Yank Rockgate Palace's underground treasury, she could never exhaust them. As a result, Li Ling's psychic power cultivation advanced at an astonishing pace, reaching the 2nd realm of the Holy Spiritual Master. In the nether domain of the Void Ruins ancient kingdom, where Li Songgu resided, rapid cultivation progress was essential to avoid being quickly surpassed. The intervention of an immortal realm great power and the emergence of a holy spiritual psychic master brought the maritime clash between Dao Seed realm martial mystic cultivators to an abrupt halt. Tuoba Buchuo recognized Li Ling from their encounter at the Hidden Dragon Lantern Festival. He was secretly astonished by her profound cultivation, then clasped his hands in a respectful salute and called out, "Many thanks, Miss Li Ling, for your righteous intervention. Chu Tianshu narrowed his eyes. A member of the Zhu clan. The Zhu clan is aligned with the Zhuoqiu sect. How dare you aid the Snow Sword Tang court? Do you understand the consequences of opposing the Rice Palace? Li Ling retorted, your Rice sect has already been expelled from the Lingxiao realm. How dare you still act so arrogantly? Old man, I advise you to withdraw your forces immediately. You might just escape with your lives. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 7. The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 145, 820, Snow Sword Tang Court's Predicament. 145th of Volume 7. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Since the Zhu chieftain's return, your Zhu clan has grown remarkably assertive. Have you forgotten the days when you groveled under the rule of Vice Hall Masters Yang and Shu? The snake head coiled around Chu Tianshu's neck smirked, its gaze sweeping over Li Ling. It saw her cultivation was unremarkable, her power stemming solely from the sheer number of heavenly sword talismans she wielded. Li Wei, sensing an unusual fluctuation in qi, activated his heavenly eye between his brows. He saw it. A towering Buddhist cultivator, standing 12 meters tall, was stealthily walking across the sea surface, silently approaching Li Ling. Clad in a gray monk's robe, his massive belly protruded prominently, and a string of blood soul prayer beads hung around his neck. Each bead was the size of a water vat. This was Shu Fodu, the barbarian bandit renowned alongside Shi Na and Shanjing's senior brother. Coffin Mountain Shu Buddha's belly, Li Wei had heard of his fearsome reputation on his very first day in this world. In Li province, none dared defy him, for he was considered the incarnation of a demon god. Li Ling remained oblivious to the impending danger, her attention fixed on Chu Tianshu. Having reached the 6th realm of the holy spiritual master, Li Wei had refined a divine sword talisman. Now, the talisman sword shot forth from between his brows, carrying overwhelming power. It cleaved through the sea surface and hurtled straight toward Shu Fodu. Whoosh! Li Wei donned his mask, channeled spiritual qi through the eightfold profound robe transformation technique, and summoned the monarch's Zai's thunder hammer. He surged forward like a bolt of lightning, following closely behind the divine sword talisman. Shu Fodu sensed the overwhelming and dangerous aura. Startled, he immediately activated his body technique, stepping on golden Buddhist inscriptions to soar into the air and evade the divine sword talisman. Knowing Shu Fodu's formidable power, Li Wei dared not underestimate him. He raised the thunder hammer above his head, channeling all his strength into it. Instantly, thunder roared and lightning flashed across the sky. He infused the hammer strike with the essence of the Nine Heavens Thunder Annihilation Sword's imperial technique. Crack! Having mastered the 6th layer of the Nine Heavens Thunder Annihilation Sword, Li Wei could now summon Azure Nether Lightning. The electric arcs crackling around him resembled azure dragon serpents. Shu Fodu never imagined he would provoke such a formidable opponent. In a desperate move, he unleashed both palms, summoning a 100-jong-tall golden Buddha to intercept the thunder hammer. Boom! A waterfall of lightning cascaded down, accompanied by thunderous roars and earth-shattering force. The 100-jong-tall golden Buddha shattered in a single blow. Shu Fodu plummeted into the sea, crashing heavily into the seabed. After a long moment, he resurfaced dozens of miles away, his heart pounding with shock. He stared at the powerful figure standing in midair. The Zhu clan has no such person. Nor does the Thundercloud sect. Li Wei stood with the thunder hammer slung over his shoulder, the wooden mask lending him an air of mystery. Blue lightning crackled beneath his feet as he sneered, Shu Fodu, you dare attack Li Ling. Have you forgotten the fate of Shi Na and the Shi King's bandit army? Some enemies you simply cannot afford to make. Shu Fodu steeled his resolve, pressed his palms together, and chanted a Buddhist mantra, Amitabha. This is a misunderstanding. This humble monk has been neighbors with the Zhu clan for many years and enjoys cordial relations with several clan chiefs. It would be illogical to antagonize them now that their chieftain has returned. Shu Fodu had planned to secretly capture Li Ling, intending to stage a rescue later to ease tensions with the Zhu clan. Now his plan had backfired spectacularly. Right and wrong are clear to all. The Rice Palace will pay for its crimes. With those words, Li Wei activated the divine sword talisman, unleashing a single strike that cleaved Chu Tianshu, who was attempting to retreat unnoticed, in two at the waist. After retrieving the now dim divine sword talisman, Li Wei turned his gaze to Shu Fodu in the distance. If you behave yourself, you might live long enough for Li Ling and Kang Li to grow up and kill you themselves. But if you don't, the Zhu chieftain will personally execute you. Shu Fodu's infamy was legendary, yet he had survived this long, a testament to his formidable abilities. Apart from the transcendent level Li Yuange and the hidden ancestor, no one in the Zhu clan could subdue him. If he hadn't fought with all his power and been determined to escape, even Li Wei couldn't have stopped him. The Zhu clan's humiliation could only be washed away by the clan itself, marking their true resurgence. Shu Fodu, unable to gauge Li Wei's true strength, dared not challenge him and swiftly led the Rice Palace faction's martial mystic cultivators in retreat. Li Wei descended to the ground. Shi Luyu, Shi Zhoujai, Qi Xiao, and the others were already beyond astonishment, their eyes filled with reverence as they gazed at him like a celestial deity. The East Sea lacked a starry sky mirror. Though they had heard tales of Li Wei's exploits, they had dismissed them as exaggerated and distorted. Yet Shu Fodu's formidable reputation had been ingrained in their minds since childhood. To see such a figure driven back was truly awe-inspiring. Shi Zhoujai recalled their first encounter with Li Wei on the mountain near Burial Immortal Town, his heart now filled with a complex mix of emotions. From now on, Southern Dragon, just call me Little Sixth, Shi Luyu said earnestly. Never sixth brother again. I don't deserve it. Whether you have a immortal pill or not, it is crucial for breaking through to Immortal Realm. That's why martial mystic cultivators in the Lingxiao realm and Immortal Realm are so rare. Li Wei retrieved a pill bottle and handed it to Qi Xiao. Meeting is fate. There's enough for everyone. Me too. Shi Wuyan pointed at himself. He had no prior connection with Li Wei, unlike Shi Luyu and Shi Zhoujai, who had risked their lives for him. Li Wei smiled. Everyone who sees gets a share. These immortal pills hadn't been deliberately collected, they were accidental discoveries from the cosmic pouches of defeated enemies. Shi Luyu's scalp tingled with excitement as he accepted the immortal pill from Qi Xiao with trembling hands. This is an immortal pill. It means we finally have a chance at Immortal Realm. Lao Wu, you've struck gold by sticking with us. The Zhuoqiu sect, backed by the Calamity Crossing Temple, received only 3 immortal pills annually, a meager ration for so many cultivators. Under Shi Zhoujai's lead, the 3 of them exchanged whispered consultations before kneeling in unison. We've decided to return to the Earthwolf King's army and pledge our loyalty to the Zhu clan and the Zhuoqiu sect. The Zhuoqiu sect's military law is strict, Zhuoqiu Hongting said coldly. If you don't shed your old vices and commit future transgressions, neither Southern Dragon nor I will show you any leniency. Rest assured, Lady Southern Dragon, Shi Wuyan swore, raising his hand to the sky. We will never tarnish your reputations. After resolving the maritime chaos, Tuoba Buchuo swiftly arrived at the shore, eager to pay his respects and express his gratitude. When Tuoba Buchuo saw Li Wei and Zhuoqiu Hongting, the smile on his face vanished instantly. He first bowed respectfully to Li Ling, then turned to Li Wei and bowed deeply. Thank you, Southern Dragon, for your timely intervention. Tuoba Buchuo is eternally grateful and will repay this debt in the future. Enough with the theatrics. Let's go back to Dragon City for drinks, Li Wei said, already tired of the teasing from Mo Duanfeng, Qi Xiao, and Tuoba Buchuo. He cherished the friendships he had forged during his weaker years. Tuoba Buchuo's expression turned serious. I still have many matters to attend to here and cannot leave. My apologies, everyone. Farewell. Noticing the coldness in Tuoba Buchuo's eyes, Li Wei knew it must be related to the Snow Sword Tank Court incident. He exchanged a meaningful glance with Qi Xiao. Qi Xiao understood immediately and blocked Tuoba Buchuo's path. Tuoba. Whatever's troubling you, let's discuss it face to face. What's troubling me? Everyone else may not know, but surely you, Qi Xiao, understand, Tuoba Buchuo retorted. Qi Xiao countered, Brother Wei has just escaped danger and is unaware of the situation at Snow Sword Tank Court. Don't you know his character by now? Tuoba Buchuo remained silent for a long moment before turning back to face Li Wei. Do you truly know nothing of the Grand Palace Master's actions? Li Wei frowned deeply and shook his head. The group booked an entire tavern in the fairy town. Li Wei stood at the second-floor railing, hands clasped behind his back, gazing at the sea dotted with countless sails. Behind him, Tuoba Buchuo spoke with a pained expression, the Snow Sword Tank Court's current predicament is entirely the Grand Palace Master's scheme. The world believes that during the ranking competition, the young lord fought to the death, severely injuring Jiyu Junxiang, and thus caught the attention of the Immortal Tower's elite. The Deputy Sentinel Lord, acting on the Grand Palace Master's orders, deliberately declared in front of the old ancestor of the Bai clan, the Heavenly Emperor's family, that the Sword Dao Imperial Court's investment in nurturing the young lord with #1 scholar resources was merely preparing a dowry for the Lingxiao Palace. After all, everyone could see the young lord's deep affection and loyalty toward you. The Deputy Sentinel Lord also announced that after the Immortal Ascension competition concludes, the young lord would be recalled to the Cave Void Camp. The old ancestor immediately declared that the Sword Dao Imperial Court would never allow their future Heavenly Emperor to marry into the Lingxiao Palace. Li Wei's gaze turned cold and focused. If the world believes it, someone must be spreading these rumors. But this involves multiple influential figures. Who would dare fabricate such a story? All the transcendents from various life realms had gathered at the Immortal Tower that day, including the Zhongsheng Academy Emperor's consciousness. If it were false, the Deputy Sentinel Lord would have clarified it long ago, given his temperament. Instead, he has driven the young lord and the Snow Sword Tank Court into a corner, Tuoba Buchuo said. Li Wei remained silent for a long moment before asking, what did the Sword Dao Imperial Court do? The founding ancestor told me that the lion-taming king was cursed with the 3 lifetimes curse from ancient Yi city. It's suspected that the Sword Emperor's eldest disciple orchestrated this. But the root cause lies with the Grand Palace Master, who manipulated events to pit the Sword Dao Imperial Court against the Snow Sword Tang Court, aiming to annex it. That's why we've ended up like this. Tuoba Buchuo's eyes were bloodshot with fury. To break the 3 lifetimes curse, the lion-taming king must either submit to the Sword Dao Imperial Court or pledge allegiance to the Grand Palace Master. But the young lord suffers the worst fate. The Sword Emperor himself has decreed her marriage to be Yu Lianxi. The ceremony is set for the final day of the Immortal Ascension competition, Lunar New Year's Eve in 2 months. You know the young lord better than anyone. With her unyielding spirit, she'll undoubtedly stage a bloody revolt at the wedding, sacrificing herself to strike back at the Sword Dao Imperial Court. By dying as the #1 scholar, and amidst the thunderous condemnation of the world, she'll force a solution to the lion-taming king's crisis. That's the most likely outcome I can foresee. Li Wei, do you realize you're the one who doomed her? Why? Li Wei asked, finally understanding Tuoba Buchuo's anguish. The fact that he had managed to maintain composure enough to bow and express gratitude earlier was a testament to his immense self-restraint. In Tuoba Buchuo's eyes, Li Wei had already betrayed Tang Wanzhou, abandoning her after their initial entanglement. Why else would he show no reaction upon learning about the Snow Sword Tang Court's involvement with Tang Wanzhou? Moreover, he hadn't pleaded with the Grand Palace Master to show mercy. How could the Snow Sword Tang Court possibly stand against the combined power of the Lingxiao Palace and the Sword Dao Imperial Court? It was clear that Tuoba Buchuo wasn't alone in this belief. Shi Luyu and Qi Xiao had initially shared the same suspicion. This was why they dared not mention the matter in front of Li Wei and Zuoqiu Hongting. Tuoba Buchuo continued, before the Sword Emperor bestowed the marriage decree, the old ancestor of the Bai clan visited Xiaoyao capital and met with the Heavenly Demon Empress. That's why the wedding was scheduled for the final day of the Immortal Ascension competition. The Sword Dao Imperial Court aims to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, having undoubtedly secured benefits from both the Demon Monarch and the Heavenly Demon Empress in exchange for their cooperation. They're trying to lure you out into the open. Isn't it obvious that the Demon Monarch or the Heavenly Demon Empress leaked these secret details to the world, hoping to force you to reveal yourself? Li Wei didn't believe everything Tuoba Buchuo said. Given his cultivation level, the information he had gathered was likely distorted. Where is the lion-taming king? Lingxiao City. Good. We'll head to Lingxiao City immediately. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.